So there are in everything that affects us. And someone once told me, where's the lesson? Where's the silver lining? Where's the benefit? And when these things hit you, and once you gain a bit of composure, it's like, what's the lesson? What's the positive thing that's going to come out of this? And it's a hard question, and the answer is usually not easily available, but eventually it comes.
So what I like about you, perhaps maybe I can tell you today, right? Though you seem like a shy person, you're one of the most networked people I know, and you network with everybody. What are the lessons that you can share about the power of networking? I mean, I see everyone around you, obviously, right?
Yeah.
You've got blacks, you've got whites, you've got Indians, you've got everyone. Why do you want to be friends with everyone? Not saying it's a bad thing.
I'm going for president.
What's that all about? And what's the power in it?
Sure.
Did you realize that, or are you only realizing now?
It's interesting. I know it, but I don't do it. I don't have the same intentionality as a networker. So I don't go out with it with intent or with an agenda. I'm not a salesperson. If you know what I mean. I'm friendly. I never say no to people. I always happy to have a chat. I feel like I've got something to share, and people come to me and we have that conversation. I've also always made myself available to help. When it was with financing and people were putting an application or trying to understand, made myself available to help them, help them through the process in the right way. And I did that because the benefit I get is that if I make myself available, if I'm of service, I learn from that person. I learn from the situation. So unfortunately, I guess, I haven't necessarily managed to, necessarily monetize it or commercialize it, or, I've been able to pull on my network when I need to, but I haven't done it with that level of intent. So I guess it's also been fairly authentic. I didn't set out to do that, but it's such a privilege and a pleasure to be with other people, see the paths they on, the challenges that they come across, and how they and how they manage them. And if I can get 10% of insights of what that looks like, I might reflect on it myself. So always learning from each other, and then always, you look around and you see witnesses doing the big deals, and I think, geez, what's witness got that I haven't? Don't answer that. And and I think, well, look, in Miguel, level up. Either level up in being disciplined, do what you need to do, or have the bigger conversations, or rethink my mindset. So that's what comes out of that.
And then tell me something. At what point then do you transition to Airbnb hosting and building a portfolio around Airbnb? You didn't touch on that today, but perhaps you can touch on it now. So
sure.
The Airbnb strategy after you left your job, and I'm sure it's making way more than the portfolio did when you started.
Sure. So I left work. We were all working from home. And
COVID 2020.
Well, so it was 2022, and basically the business I was in at Absa home loans didn't go back to the office for the most part. At least the teams I was involved in, everyone kept working from home.
What was your book at the time? Total value
that I was looking after, it was about 70 billion.
70 billion rand.
Yeah.
Wow.
So looking after that, and it's a massive book, and but I never really thought of it from that. What I miss is customers phoning me, and I got to know some of the customers, and saying, I bought this. Do you think it will? I'm looking at this. Will it get financed? Don't think will it get financed? And yes, they'd phone me for the finance conversation, but we'd very quickly have an investment conversation, investment strategy conversation,
Right.
and then I would try and bridge the two, because today, and I think that's something that's missing. In the banks and just generally in business, is that people don't, they solve the obvious problem. But if you just ask, if you understand, as an investor, I understood property investment. And as soon as I started having a conversation with the client on their property investments in a way that enables them to finance, we would connect. We would absolutely lock on. I mean, and then we would keep that client. And I always tell my clients, if Absa doesn't sort you out, go to other banks.
What's the easiest way to get financed?
The easiest.
You don't work there anymore. You can tell us now. What are the secrets?
I mean, there's no, everyone thinks there's this black box of like, smoke and mirrors that no one quite understands. It's as simple as, have you got the affordability? Have you got a good good credit record? And is the property worth it? That's it. Unfortunately, it comes down to that.
There are properties that are not worth it.
Then the bank won't finance it.
No, I'm saying there are. The ones that are not worth it. What are they? What are the properties that are not worth it?
So this is where you buy a property for 2 million, but the average value in the area is 1.5. The bank won't. The bank will come back to you and say they'll offer you a 1.5 million rand loan. You got to put in 500,000 rand deposit. So it's ensuring that the asset can stand for the loan, because ultimately, this is the reason that if you default and the bank comes and takes your asset away, your property away, they want to be able to sell the property to pay the loan off.
What's the highest you financed?
The highest we financed?
Yeah, the deal that you saw, that you were overseeing, maybe.
Not very high, 4 or 5 million. Well, no.
Average home.
Sorry, I mean, we did a portfolio of about 250 million, but it was a developer's portfolio,
right?
And it had quite a few properties in it. Probably had about 100, whatever the number was. There were quite a few properties in it. So it's home loans. Home loans is a sausage factory. They just do sausages. Don't ask them to do other types